Ontario's housing market is cracking, and this is just the beginning. Hi, it's Diloshan, and welcome back to another episode of Real Estate Watch. Lately, everyone's been asking the same question. Why are Ontario home prices suddenly dropping, and dropping fast? Well, this isn't a small pullback. We're seeing declines across almost every region in the province. And there's a reason it's happening now, and not a year or two ago. So let's dive right into it. The peak? Well, March 2022. Soon after that, the Bank of Canada went on its fastest rate hike cycle in history. Rates skyrocketed, demand froze, and the market cooled through 2023. But here's what's strange. The real damage didn't show up until now, in late 2025. So what changed? Well, if you've been watching closely, you've noticed the pattern. First, condos cracked. Then the outer suburbs, like Pickering, Hamilton, Barrie, and Niagara, dropped between 25 to 30%, some even as 40% from the peak. And now, even central Toronto is softening. Now, downtown hasn't fallen as much, but every segment, detached, semis, condos, is slipping slower. And the numbers don't lie, because across parts of the 905, prices are down 35 to 40% from the peak. And in extreme cases, in regions like Brampton and North Pickering, prices fell close to 50% from what it was at the peak. And a lot of those were investor units. These are people who bought at the height, some using student rentals or private lending to make it work. Now those units are underwater, and the revenue that made the math possible, well, it's gone. Now, everyone quickly blames high rates, but it's not just about high rates. If high rates were the trigger, defaults would have spiked back in 2023. But they didn't. Defaults were at record lows. So the real trigger is income loss. It's when the money that used to cover the mortgage disappears. And that's exactly what's happening right now. Because international student numbers have been slashed, the lowest in over a decade. Thousands of rental units just lost their tenants overnight. Rents are falling. And they're down 10% or more in parts of Ontario and BC. And when your rental income drops, the math stops working. At that point, investors stop fighting. They hand in the keys. And that's where the power of sale listings come up. So you might be asking, why are we seeing power of sales now? Well, power of sales don't happen overnight. They actually take months, even up to a year before it shows up. So the listings that we're seeing today, well, they started cracking back in late 2023 or 2024. And here's the scary part. This wave hasn't even peaked yet. We'll likely see the worst through mid-2026 as more distressed properties hit the market and private lenders pull back. So what's making it all worse? Well, lower immigration targets. There are fewer renters and fewer buyers now. Student rental demand just collapsed. And rents are dropping instead of rising. And private lenders are tightening up. And consumer confidence? Well, it's literally gone. All that adds up to one thing. There's going to be more forced listings, more price cuts, and more pressure on the market. So what are my final thoughts? Well, anyone still saying just wait for the spring because prices will bounce back? I'm sorry to say, that's probably not going to happen because the fundamentals just don't support it. And the interest rates might come down slightly, but the economic backdrop with the weak income growth, lower immigration, and falling rents will keep the pressure on prices. So no, spring 2026 isn't the rebound. It's the reset. And we're heading into a year where power of sales, foreclosures, and distressed listings become part of the normal market conversation again. And if you're in real estate, buying, selling, or investing, you need to prepare for that reality now. So are you seeing a power of sales signs pop up in your area? Drop a comment below. I want to hear what you're noticing in your area. And if this video helped you understand what's really going on, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. And share it with someone who's watching this market closely. Because this next chapter in Ontario real estate is just getting started. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.